So we are back. It's day number 4, and I'm not sure what I'm going to share with you yet because I've already done another coat of mud on the wall, which is boring, so I wasn't going to share that with you. But once I get that coat dried, I can sand it and then we can texture it, then I'll bring you back up to speed on that. Today's an odd day because I have lots of office work to do, so lots of phone calls, lots of paperwork, stuff like that. So we'll see if this day blends into day 5 and day 6 and all that stuff to make enough content for one video. But anyways, let's get to the day and see what we do. And just like that, it has become day number 5. I got the sanding done for this wall yesterday before I had to go leave for the courthouse to do some paperwork on a property that we have purchased. And we are in the middle of exchanging names and getting the property lines all set up and everything. That'll be coming in a future video, but as of now, we are back in the simple life of a drywaller. And we got this all sanded as well. It looks nice and smooth. And the transitions, there's no lines, so which is good. And then we filled all the little holes around the room, all the way around, and then we've sanded those as well. And so the only thing left to do before I can texture is I gotta come back with have little pads, little sanding pads that you use. I'll see if I can show you later. And I can do those corners where the round orbital sander can't reach. So we'll go back through and touch up those corners to make them look perfect. And then we're gonna dust off the wall. That way when we spray the texture, the dust doesn't fly everywhere. And we'll do some cleanup and then I'll show you how to texture. So let's get to the cleanup and the rest of the stuff. So what you're watching me do right now is get a new razor blade in my knife because a sharp one is a lot nicer than a dull one. Probably a little common sense there, but. So I'm going to tape off around the things that I don't want the texture mud to get on. So I'm going to tape around that top shelf piece with tape, and I'm going to use my knife to cut a nice straight edge on the corners where I can't get the tape perfect. And then there's some things I'm not going to tape off. Like I'm not going to tape off the light up there or the vent because I can come back just as quickly with a wet damp cloth and wipe it off than I can tape the whole thing and then untape it and then probably do some cleanup anyways. So I'm gonna tape where I can't clean because once the wall is sprayed, I don't want to wipe it because I could mess up the texture on the wall. And so by taping where I can't clean, I can just peel the tape off and it'll be a perfect nice line underneath that shelf there. And then also I'm just using blue painter's tape and using a white terry towel. I'll get it wet and then I'll wipe it all down after I get everything textured. And I'm also going to vacuum the walls with my vacuum and just like one of those floor broom attachments to get as much dust off as possible. It's not super critical, but that's what I'm up to. Okay, it is time to texture. And here's the tools that you're gonna need to texture if you do. I'm using this cordless drill to mix the mud. But you can use a quarter one, or you can mix it by hand if you were really a glutton for punishment. But anyways, the most important tool you're gonna need is the actual sprayer itself. This is called a hopper sprayer because this red part is actually facing the opposite direction when you hold it. And you fill this part up with the mud, and then when you pull that trigger, it's gonna squirt the texture on the wall. And there's a certain size nozzle on the front of this that I use. They come with a bunch of different sizes, but that one gives you the orange peel texture. And then that is connected to an air hose, which is connected to the air compressor over there. And then the mud that we're using is just the same mud that we're using for the walls. We'll pour it in there and mix it pretty thin, almost like a pancake batter type of mix, but a little thinner. And then when we spray it on the wall, we'll make sure that the texture matches as best we can to that wall, and then we'll blend it as best we can. So we need to mix mud up there and then pour it in the hopper. And then we're gonna use an assistant, my wife in this case, to hold a piece of cardboard or something to keep it from spraying on certain areas. So when I get to this area here, I'll have her hold it there. When I spray this column, it won't get everything over here all muddy. So I do have to do a little texture touch up here and there, and all these little touch up pieces I will touch up, and then in the room next door, we will texture that as well. Probably start there, that way it starts drying first, because it'll dry pretty quickly. And then the stuff that we need to wipe off, like the shelf up there, and other places, we can use a wet rag for that. So anyways, let's get started with texturing. Okay, when you get the mud all mixed, it's gonna look probably something similar to this goopiness. Once I spray it, I'll know if it's too thick or too thin, and I can either add or take away the water depending on what I need to make it the texture I want it to be. But it looks pretty good to me, so I'm gonna pour it in the texture gun, and then we're gonna spray it on the wall. So that's basically how you do it. It's just like a little paint gun. You just pull the trigger and let off and on according to how much you want to come out. And you want to blend as best you can. So like around the perimeter, I don't want to put too much mud texture on the edges, because then it'll look too busy. There'll be too much texture, because where it already is textured, where the line isn't textured, you're trying to blend that in, so you want to notice the difference. So then, now that this is all textured, we can come back and paint it once it dries, which will be like 20 minutes from now, because this mud dries fast, especially when it's in a thin coat like this. So now that we got this textured, we can move on to the other room and get it sprayed in too. Man, does drywall take forever for me to do. It's really not that bad. It's just, I could devote more time to it in a day, then it would be done a lot faster. But anyways, check this out. It's like a little transformation. That's the wall we were just working on. I say we, I'm talking to the camera, so I'm gonna say you guys and me are doing this together. And so I'm gonna say we from now on. So we just finished this office. Good job, by the way. My wife done some painting already, that's why it's already tan. So the paint is drying. The next project I have is the floor. But I want the paint to dry on the walls. That way when I tear the carpet up and I start using my grinder to clear off the glue and the other junk underneath the carpet, it will not stick to the wall when it slings to it. But let me show you the other room and say our goodbyes for the day. Got all of our tools moved out in the hallway because we're getting ready to do the flooring in there. So we did this room. You can tell it's been a little bit painted. You can tell the texture difference from the flat before to the textured now. It's still drying a tiny bit, but that looks pretty good. But anyways, thanks for watching as always. Don't forget to like and subscribe, turn the little bell notification on and all that jazz. Today, I believe our subscriber number is at 50. So we have even grown past the number I was trying to beat the other day when I mentioned that I wanted to get at least 47 or something like that, 48. So we're at 50 now, which is awesome. So again, not big numbers, but not a big deal. We're growing. And then I think our highest viewed video is around the same. And there is a Marco Polo popping up on my screen. But anyways, I wanted to say I am going to try to put a link in the description for two different things. The first thing is a little selfish. It's a GoFundMe page. You do not have to do anything. There's no obligation. But if you have extra money laying around or you want to support the channel, you are welcome to donate to that GoFundMe. It's limited at $1,000. So if you're extra generous, just let me know in the comments below and I will change that number to a higher number. But I think it'd be fun if I could be able to get a little support in the future to be able to buy more camera gear and tripods and stuff. Because right now I'm using a tiny little tripod and it takes a lot of work to set up everywhere, but it is working pretty well. And then also, I'm gonna try to leave a link to an investment app called Acorn. I am not sponsored by them, nor do I know 100% about them. I've been using them for about 3 years and everything seems to be going quite well. They invest your spare change and you get extra investments if you invite somebody. So I'm gonna put the link in the description below. If you're interested in having your money make money while you are sleeping, then it might be a good app for you. It's not a huge money maker, you're not gonna be rich overnight, but it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna try to leave the link for both of those in the description. Feel free to click on those and join me. I would love to be a part of your future savings. So anyways, thanks again for watching and helping as we go throughout this video. Thank you very much. We'll say our goodbyes now. I'm gonna do some more work today because I need to get the flooring done, but I'm gonna put that maybe in another video, maybe tomorrow's video. So anyways, catch you later. God bless.